Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now, I'm running a little bit late, I do apologise about that, but we are live today on this nice Friday afternoon, and we are going to be playing the Final Strike event on Pokemon Go. So this event only started a couple of days ago on Wednesday, and it is the release of a couple of cool little features and a couple of nice Pokemon as well. Of course, two different forms of Urshifu, but we'll get into that in just a second. First of all, we are going to see what raids are about and where we can start heading to, because we do need to complete some raids. So there is actually a Mesprit there and also a Mega Gyarados, in fact, and we'll probably head to those first and see if we can do those. Now, we'll try the Mega Gyarados as a solo, unless anybody wants to join off the friends list, because we do have to win some raids, and the raids tasks are very much about the Kubfu. Now, I have gone ahead and brought the $7.99 ticket. I haven't yet had a second Dynamax Kubfu, so this one will be my second one. First one, of course, was obtained through the free research, and then this one will become my second Kubfu. So we do need to win some raids for that. So let's go ahead and jump in Gyarados and see if we can, in fact, solo this today. So Gyarados, best counters for Gyarados. Let's see if we can work a team out best for this. So, of course, with the Urshifu being released, we haven't yet evolved our first Kubfu, but your first Kubfu, one that you had from a free research quite a while ago now, should now be available to be traded. You can actually go ahead and trade your Kubfu, your Dynamax Kubfu, for the first time. Other than that, it was previously locked from trading. So we will, I'll show you the Kubfu that I've traded already, the Dynamax Kubfu. It was a lucky trade, so it was lucky. So it did go slightly better, but it still wasn't anything to be shouting home about. Now, we are awaiting this raid. Let's just invite some people and see if anybody does, in fact, join or not. And then we will jump straight into this. So we're going to try and solo this with this team. I don't know how good this is going to turn out, whether or not this will be the right team to do this, but it is definitely recommending fighting types. Whether that's just with what move Gyarados has got, or whether that's going to be one of the best types to go against it, we'll have to wait and see. But we will try and solo this if nobody joins and see what happens. And we also got time to go again if need be. And it doesn't look like anybody is joining us, so we are going to have to attempt a solo of this and see if we can take down Mega Gyarados, and if so, just how easy it is. So let's go in with this team. Mega Lucario from the start, followed by a few more Lucarios, and then Terrakion. So let's jump in with this and see how well we get on. Now, of course, Mega Gyarados is water and dark type, so we are actually super effective with the fighting moves. And it's not very effective with Crunch, isn't, against our fighting types. So that's probably why it's recommended Mega Lucario and the rest of the fighting types. Of course, fighting, as you can see, they're super effective, but the moves that Mega Gyarados has got aren't very effective against us, which is all the better, really. It means we can last a lot longer in the battle. Now, here we are with our second Mega Lucario. Or second Lucario, should I say. The first one was a Mega. This one is a Hundo. Again, level 50 on this one. So the third Lucario, again, another Hundo, level 51. And again, running Urshifu, but not doing as much damage as that first Mega one was. Do you have a Mega Lucario? Yes, I have a Mega Lucario. We used it first in the battle, and then it did faint out. So we're just attempting this solo. We may have to try again and change the team a little bit. Maybe just go in with a Mega Lucario and keep reviving it. That might be the best strategy. Here is our Keldeo. We finally level 50 this Keldeo now. We've been using Candy XLs on it, and it is now at level 50. As you can see, 4,122 CP, and that is a 93. That is a 14, 14, 14. So it will go slightly higher than that if you're lucky enough to get a hundo. But it may be something we have to use a bottle cap on, depending on how the other forms of Keldeo perform in the game. Now 160 seconds on the clock. This does not look very good at all as a solo, so we may have to back out and try again. So it's definitely not looking promising. This isn't 130. In fact, we're actually going back out and try this again. So let's see if we max revive this. Let's see if we can, in fact, solo this or not. So there is an app you can try and see if you can solo. If you do download this app, I would recommend it. Now, Pokegenie is the app name. If you download this, you will get Battle Simulator there in the middle. And if we quickly switch over to game, we can see in game we are partly cloudy. So that is obviously going to be a good. But if you type in what you're up against, so current, and if we find on here Gyarados, and then go down to weather, partly cloudy, and we're not doing it as a best friend because nobody else is in the lobby, click all Pokemon and find top counters. So on here, it will give us a list of the top counters to use against Mega Gyarados in this weather. Now, you can see there, Mega Lucario by far is the best. It's going to have between 4 and 18 revives, because of obviously depending on what moveset it has got. Now, we do know it has got the moveset, the charge moveset of Crunch, because we were getting hit by Crunch before on that first attempt. So if we change that, we should then see that Mega Lucario could potentially do with 6 to 10 revives and have 8 seconds remaining. So we can try that, and we can also try and send some more invites out to see if anybody joins. So let's go across onto the game again and jump back in the lobby. We may just have to go a little bit closer and jump back in the lobby and see if anybody wants to join us, or in fact we can solo this with just a Mega Lucario. So should be close enough now. So first of all, before jumping in, we've got a free raid pass for today. This was yesterday's raid pass that we're currently using. So before jumping in, let's go to the battle, go over to party. And the best way to set up a team with only one Pokemon up is to set up an individual party. We're going to call it Gyarados, or Big Fish, let's call it. And we're going to go in with Mega Lucario. So Lucario, and you can see there our 98 Mega Lucario is ready. So let's jump back in. Let's see if we can get anybody in with an invite. We'll swipe across to that team, send some invites out to people, and see if anybody does wish to join this. Hey AT, how are you? Thanks so much for joining. We are just about to take down a Mega Gyarados raid. And we're going to see if we can solo it, and if not, if anybody wishes to join it. Now we may just spam some invites out here and see if anybody does join. Right, so we've got 2 people in now, so that's good. And we should be pretty good with 2 people. I think I'm going to ready up with that. They've readied up, so we'll ready up as well and see if we can take this down with 2 people. One was we were struggling with one before, but we didn't have a Mega Lucario only team. We did go in with a few more fighting types. So as soon as our Mega Lucario fainted out, we did start to struggle. But with 2 of us in the lobby now, it should go down a lot better. So as we're doing this, I will also just mention as well, today's live stream, we can hopefully get our second encounter with Dynamax Kubfu. Now, the second encounter is only available through purchasing the ticket. If you brought the ticket from the previous event, when the first Dynamax Kubfu got released on the free research, if you brought the paid ticket during that event a few months ago and you get your second Kubfu then, you cannot get a second Kubfu. Even if you do go ahead and buy this ticket this time round, you won't be able to get a second Kubfu encounter. So maximum amount of Kubfus anybody can get is 2. And we will be getting our second one hopefully today during this live stream, and we'll hopefully get a better one than last time. Our first Dynamax Kubfu was around about 10, 11, 12, which wasn't very good at all. On the stats, of course, 10, 10, 10, the lowest you can get. It was pretty much rock bottom. Now, we have lucky traded that. As of the start of this event on Wednesday, you can lucky trade or trade Kubfu. Previously, it was trade locked. You wasn't able to trade it. Now you can trade Kubfu. So that's good. If yours was rubbish as well, you can hopefully get a better one through a lucky trade with a friend. And mine went better, but didn't go the best. It's still a quite bad 3-star, but I'll show you that in just a second. So I'm hoping that we still get a decent Kubfu from this, and if we don't, then we have got another one to lucky trade with somebody else. So the first stages of getting this Kubfu, we're on to stage 2 now, I believe, of the research, and we are on the stage where we have got to win raids, hence why we're winning raids at the moment, or attempting at least to go against this Gyarados, and we'll find another raid as well en route. But we're doing a lot better this time. 164 seconds on the clock as well. Cheers, Dan. Hopefully having a good day at work. Hopefully it's going quick enough for you. So it shouldn't be long now. We've got our level 50 Caldio in, but we just managed to max out after the last raid hour where we got some more Candy XLs. Yeah, no worries. Thanks very much for dropping by, Dan. Much appreciated. Have a good day yourself. So we have done Gyarados, and of course Gyarados can be shiny from the Mega Raids, and it does have a 1 in 128 chance. Now, no shiny on that one, and it is 1897. I don't know what a decent one is. Maybe over 1900, but let's catch it and find out and see what we get. Hasn't stayed in that ball. Let's try again. Throw another golden Raz at it. And it's hit it away that time, annoyingly. Terrible throw on that occasion. But it was a critical catch. So we'll take that. We'll take that. And this one is a 11, 13, 15. So not terrible, but probably something we won't keep. Definitely something we won't keep, in fact. So we'll get rid of that one. But it is one step closer to this research being done. And that research is down here on the battle week timed research, and also here as well we need a fuzzy fighter research as well. Win 3 raids, we need to win another 2 more, and also use 10 berries to help catch Pokemon. I always forget to use berries. Now we have also got a winner raid task complete. Marini is the encounter from it. Now there's 3 Pokemon during this current event, the final strike event, that are shiny boosted in the wild and off research and off raids. Now those 3 Pokemon are Marini, Stunky, and also Meditite. So if you're after any of those 3 Pokemon, you should get them at around about 1 in 64 to 1 in 128 odds. So a lot higher odds than what we normally are. So if you're after any of those shiny Pokemon, then this event could be for you. We'll pick up another research while we're at it as well. And we have got power up a Pokemon 10 times. Now normally I wouldn't keep those, but we've got to power up a water type 10 times anyway there. So let's see if we can finish another raid and pick up a couple more of those power-ups. We might as well get the encounters off it, because we're going to be doing it anyway with water types at some stage. So we might as well try and tie it in. So let's see if we can find any more raids. And there is a couple of raids knocking about. One hatching at 220 will be a Mesprit. A Lapras with 25 minutes remaining. But we're heading up this direction. So what is heading up this direction? What is that? 3-star Shadow. Not too sure what could be on 3-star Shadows at this moment in time. I should keep an eye out for that and see what appears. So Froakie, one of the wild spawns of this event. Finally managed to hit a great throw. And it's good to see that Nickit is returned in the wild again during this event. Nickit, the little fox Pokemon, it was only released a few months ago, and we've only had one event where it's really been featured, the event where it did get released, and now we're starting to see it on more and more events, so that's good. Want to try and get a decent one of those to evolve. We have evolved one for the decks, but at the moment we haven't got a decent one to actually keep a hold of. $10 CP on that one though. Hey Dans, I see you have a fresh trim, looking trim. Yeah, I had a fresh trim. Needed to come off. I was reluctant to get it done, but it definitely needed to come off. More reluctant to, just because I'm tight. I didn't want to spend the money. But yeah, it's looking good. How can I add you on Pokemon Go? Well, you can add me on Pokemon Go by using my trainer code. I'll put it up on screen in just a second for you, and you'll be able to add me through that, Raphael. It always gets me how steep that hill is. I walk up that hill every week, and it always gets me how steep that hill actually is. Right, so let me just get my second phone up, and I should be able to see the comments a little bit easier there. So there we go. So, second phone set up. Comments are on. And I'll share my trainer code in just a second on the screen. I'll put it up now. If anybody does wish to add me, let me know in the comments that you have added me, and then I will accept you while we are live on stream. So take a screenshot of that trainer code and add me as and when you can. So we'll start getting a few of these stops, and we'll also try and catch some of these wild spawns. We may even do our daily adventure incense as well while we're live at the moment. Let's just see if there is any more raids nearby that we can get to. There's a Mesprit hatched, and that's about it at the moment. So we will go ahead and put our daily adventure incense on now and get the most out of it while we are waiting for those raids. Now we do have to do another 2 more raids to get our encounter with Kubfu, I believe. I believe it's off the special research and not the event research. So what is this rocket here? Our hot Pokemon. So this will be a fire one. Might as well do this one. It could be Doromoka. It's actually a Tepig. Yeah, the inviting to Dynamax, I mean, it's an interesting feature. I don't think it was ever going to be off the cards. It was something that we could definitely monetize a bit more by putting invites in the game. So I think it was something we were always going to do. But I think what they've done is they've brought it at a really good time, because GoFest is just going to be around the corner. People are going to be remoting into Dynamaxes and probably Gigantamaxes during GoFest. And what we've just recently released is, of course, about 4 weeks now where we've got Gigantamax spawning every weekend. It is a very, very expensive thing, but if people want it, they're going to spend it. And leading up to GoFest, which I'm sure there'll be Gigantamaxes at GoFest on the global and on the in-person, but leading up to GoFest, they've now released loads of more events. So that means we also get the Gigantamax Machamp this weekend, of course, on Sunday. So we get Machop Classic Community on Saturday, then Gigantamax Max Battle Day on Sunday featuring Machamp, and then next weekend we start to get the Galar starters. So we start to get the likes of Inteleon, Cinderace, and also Rillaboom. I think Rillaboom's first, then it's Cinderace, then it's Inteleon. Might be wrong, but each weekend for the next 3 weekends, or 4 weekends if you include Machamp, will be Gigantamax. So we're going to get a lot of money from those being able to be remoted now. And of course then at GoFest, I fully estimate that there'll be more Gigantamaxes about, if not randomly spawning throughout the day. I can fully expect at GoFest 30-minute timers on all max particles, on all power spots, and then have a repeat of all the Gigantamaxes we've currently had so far. I can fully expect that. So if anybody has missed out, they'll go ahead and get it there. I don't think there'll be a brand new Gigantamax released on GoFest. If there is, I will be very surprised. But I do expect them to sort of repeat what we've already had during the GoFest event and just have them on half-an-hour timers. But it is definitely going to be probably the most action-packed GoFest that we've had, because we've never had a GoFest at the moment where we've had Gigantamaxes appearing on max battle stops, raids, of course, remote raids, remote Gigantamax, and also wild spawns and all the stuff that comes with it, event tasks and everything like that. It is literally just going to be all full on. So it's going to be really, really crazy. It's literally going to be a case of about a week's worth of Pokemoning in like a 2-day event. It's going to be a mental. I think you pretty much got to go into a weekend with Global Go Fest and say, right, Saturday, I'm going to focus on the wild spawns, or certain hours, I'm going to focus on the wild spawners. There's just stuff in certain habitats you want. And then out of those hours, and on the Sunday, let's say, I'm going to focus on raids or Gigantamax or whatever. I think you've pretty much got to go in with a plan. If you don't go with a plan, you'll just end up not knowing what you're doing, and all of a sudden your weekend's gone and you haven't got anything you want. So definitely worth planning ahead as to what you want from that weekend. I don't think you'll be able to do everything, but it's definitely worth planning ahead as to what you actually want to achieve from Pokemon Go Fest, because it is going to be mental. Thanks very much, Raphael. I will add you in just a second. And I do love these Zigzagoon spawning in the wild. Now, Zigzagoon can get quite annoying sometimes because it's always seems to be shiny, the Galarian one. 1 in 64 odds for a shiny Galarian one. But compared to the other Zigzagoon, the normal Zigzagoon, it's only 25 candies to evolve, whereas the normal one's 50. So it's cheaper to evolve, and that's obviously because it has a 3-stage evolution. It's got Obstagoon at the end of the Galarian evolution. Now, Might and Mastery, we have completed. Let's click and see what we get from this. Kubfu candy. And Charcadet. So 306 on the Charcadet. Don't know if that's any good or not, but it's not a shiny Charcadet, which is a little bit annoying. But we did get 100 Kubfu candy, which was pretty cool. Might use that in just a moment. Background. Background it is. Nice little Charcadet with a background, and it's a 93. I'll take that. I will definitely take that. That's not bad. It's a shame it's not shiny. That would have been really, really cool if it was shiny. Got a plan for a weekend. What we're doing, everything is ridiculous and expensive. Do the ones we need and looking for. Exactly, yeah. So definitely just go into the weekend reading all the infographics you can, reading all the articles that you can find online. I'll be doing a video on it as well, and take from that, from everything you've read, from the video I do, take from that what you want to try and achieve, what shinies you want, what Gigantamax you want, what raids you want, and then go to the weekend saying to yourself, I'm only going to do these. Don't try and get pulled into doing other things, because you'll end up just spending most of your weekend doing all the things you didn't really want to do. So this has got 5 minutes on it until it spawns, but it is a level 3 shadow. Now, I don't think anything really decent is spawning on level 3 shadow. Maybe Lapras, but I think Lapras is on normal raid. So I think we'll probably leave this raid and we'll try and head down to another one. Now, on this way, there is actually a route here. I don't want to create a new route. I want to do a current route. It annoys me how it doesn't load up as quickly as I want it to. There we go, across the tops. And it's a pretty easy route to do. It's the one I put in, so purposely made it easy. But it's on a route that we do often, so it's definitely the best way of doing routes. If you are constantly walking on a route, or you know a lot of people constantly walk in one direction, then definitely create a route out of it. It's definitely worthwhile. Do you have any shundos? Yes, I have got shundos. I'll show you those in just a moment. Rev says probably go for Zacian and Zaramazenta. Just get enough energy to fuse Gigantamax. I do not know but I look forward to the video you'll make what kind of Gigantamax I want. Yeah, so Gigantamax, obviously, we'll have to wait and see what gets released with Gigantamax. Fully expect there to be something. I can't imagine that the power spots will just be spawning nothing. Yeah, sorry, thanks very much for reminding me. Just too busy chatting away. Thanks very much for reminding me, Raphael. So yeah, I fully expect there'll be some sort of Gigantamax on the Go Fest. I can't see that they'll leave them empty or leave them just spawning tier 1 and tier 3 Dynamax, for example. Maybe we'll see like legendary Dynamaxes spawning on them, as well as a couple of Gigantamaxes, potentially like the starter Gigantamax, for example. But we did have that starter Gigantamax weekend where we came round and refreshed. So maybe we'll see the refresh of the likes of Gengar, Lapras, Kingler, the ones that haven't yet had a second time round. Maybe we'll see some of those. So it's all up in the air with Gigantamax and what they'll do with the power spots during Go Fest. But definitely Zacian and Zamazenta will be on raids, and of course their other forms, which is where you get the fuse energy. Now, it surprised me, it really did surprise me, that the way Pokemon Go have gone about it is that you'll be able to fuse your current Zamazenta or Zacian into the other form. Now, why that surprised me was because with the likes of Giratina and with the likes of Dialga and so on, you can only get that form and then you have to raid for the opposite form. Now, by doing that, it meant that any hundos, any shundos, or any decent ones that you got previously, you couldn't then use that in the alternative form. You'd have to go out, start raiding again, and get a decent one of the other form. So, with Zacian and Zamazenta, if you've already got a decent one, then you don't really have to raid that many of them. You only have to raid to get the energy, and then change what you've currently got into the other form. Now that surprised me because in my eyes, I thought we were going to go down the route of like a Giratina and Dialga, Palkia, where it would be a completely different form and you'd have to raid for that form separately away from the game and not something that you can turn your current ones into. So it is surprising, but it does mean that hopefully you won't have to spend too much of your weekend going after the fuse energy if you are just after a couple of each. So we'll have to wait and see how much energy drop you get from each one. Of course, that will dictate on how many people are taking it down, as with the likes of Mega and also with the likes of the Necrozma that we've had in the past as well. So we'll get all that information coming out in the next couple of weeks, I'm sure, as well as what's spawning on the power spots. But for now, it's looking to be quite a busy event already, and yet there's still some more information to come out about it. So definitely worth planning, as we mentioned before, and see what you can get out of the event best. Now, let's just go back a stage. Do you have any shundos? Yes, I will show you my shundos now, and you can check those out. Now, most of the shundos, I try and go up to level 50. So you'll see here that most of them are at level 50. We've got a Shundo Metagross, which we had from a lucky trade only a couple of weeks ago, this one. So it was really, really lucky. And we managed to get this, obviously, before the Mega Metagross has been released in the game. Hopefully that isn't too long away, because it's one of the last remaining original Megas to be released. Of course, we've got the likes of Mewtwo as well, which hasn't yet been released, and that does have two different forms. So Metagross, Shundo. We also have Giratina, probably the better one out of the two. Giratina Origin form as a Shundo, Kartana as a Shundo Lucky. This one was obtained from a raid. It was a Thunderous, one of the, well, it was the first Shundo that I got from a raid. Then we had a Rampardos, best buddied, the 100th best buddy that I had. I chose this as a 100th best buddy. We then had a Shundo Delphox. Now this one was pretty cool because this one was back in 2023. It was on my birthday as well. Fennekin had a community day on my birthday back in 2023, 21st of May. And we managed to get a Shundo from it, which was absolutely insane. So that was really, really cool. And then this one was We made this our Christmas best buddy this last year, in fact. When Regidrago and Regieleki got re-released back end of last year, around November time I'd say, then we got their shinies added to the game, and Regidrago was an easy solo. I say easy enough if you've got a team set up for it. And I managed to solo this Regidrago and got a shundo from it, which was absolutely insane. I couldn't believe it. But this was our second ever raid shundo, which I was dead happy about, and especially being that it came from a solo raid. Then we also had a Absol, which is a really good one because of course you can mega it. Lopunny, found in the wild as well, a wild Lopunny. This one was a really cool one. You can see there, caught in the wild, a shiny Lopunny, and a Shundo Growlithe, the Hisuian version. And then our first ever Shundo, again caught in the wild, was a Oddish, randomly in the wild, full odds as well. No event where it was boosted. It was just randomly Shundo in the wild, which was very cool and very lucky. Now that was caught back in 2020, so that was when I first got my first ever Shundo back in 2020. Can you accept? So yeah, I've accepted you. That's fine. Makes sense because I've Hundozation, still not too upset about it. Regardless, I'm be getting. Yeah, exactly. It's definitely work on the energy. That's definitely keep working on that Zakin and Zaramazenta energy. I was there that fight, yeah, defo. What's your code? I'll put my code back up on the screen, and then I will finish this route and probably start the next one. I think there's another route from here. So if you do want to add me, make sure to add that trainer code there. Let me know in the comments that you've sent me a friend request, and I'll accept you while we are on the stream. So let's go ahead and finish this route. And don't think we got any Zygarde cell then at the end of that route. If we have, we've missed it. But I think we can still collect some more particles today. 120 there. And then I think we can collect our walking ones as well. So there we go. We've gone up to 1300. Now the new daily limit you can see there is 1500. The previous limit was 1000. The new limit you can hold on to is 1500, which is actually quite cool. I think that's just for this event. I think that's just for the Final Strike event. I don't think that's a permanent feature. I think it is just for this Final Strike event, but it's dead handy, especially like then just we were stuck on 1000 and we normally wouldn't be able to claim that extra 300 from walking, but we did actually manage to do it that time. Ducklet from an egg. Make sure to put another egg in. Hey, Happy Life, how are you? Thanks so much for dropping in. Let's get another egg in. This 7-kilometer egg from New York. Obviously from one of the New York gifts that I've opened. Now I need to remember, one of those challenges we've got for the Dynamax Kubfu, the second encounter of Dynamax Kubfu, is to use berries. Now I need to remember to keep using berries. Let's get this challenge done, and then I won't forget. Now we've messed up a quick throw, that isn't very good. Still caught it, but still I can't quick catch it, annoyingly. I'll try again. There we go, we're better off that time. Bagon, appearing off a daily. Do love a Bagon spawn. I still think it's really rare. Still think Bagon's really rare, and then you catch it and actually see how many candies you've got, and you find out it's not that rare. Especially when we spent loads of candies evolving him as well. I think we had over 10,000 Bagon candies at one stage. But of course it has had a community day, and I think he's had a community day classic as well, if I remember right. Or maybe just a community day. Use 10 berries is now complete. Do feel sorry for Sobble. It's the only one of those starters that hasn't yet had its community day release. Been left right until the end. Poor little Sobble. So we've got a Mesprit raid hatching in 5 minutes up there. Is there anybody in the comments who would like to do a Mesprit raid? I can head to it, but only if there's people in the comments who wish to do it. Yeah, we did have a Bagon Classic Day, didn't we? Hundo and a 98 shiny. That is awesome. That is very, very good. No wonder you liked that day. Now, what else have we got down here raid-wise? We've got a couple more raids down there. Let's just have a look on the nearby. We've got a Lapras, which is finishing in just a moment. We've got another Mega Gyarados. We've got a couple of 5 stars. And we've got a Mesprit that's already hatched. So that's got 38 minutes on it. So we have got quite a few options for Mesprit at this moment in time. If anybody wants to do a Mesprit, I can definitely head to one of these if anybody wants to join. Now, of course, it has been about a while, so I don't expect people still to want it, but maybe it's in a region that you don't normally get Mesprit in. Of course, Mesprit is Europe exclusive, so maybe it might be a good time to get a shiny Mesprit if you wish to join. Now, it may just get to a stage where we jump in one of these raids and just spam invites and see who joins. If nobody in the comments wants to, hopefully get a few people in. In fact, I think we will start the ball rolling on that one. We'll RSVP into this one. Select a time, we'll do it at hatch and see if anybody wants to do it with us. Now, I do like the new RSVP feature. I think it's quite a nice addition. Let me know in the comments. I need another one. Uxie, not sure how you spell it. Can't seem to find anyone to do them. Yeah, Uxie is really, really annoying to try and find things to do. I think Uxie is like Asian countries, Japan, China, stuff like that. Well, obviously not China. You can't get a game in China, but definitely Japan and stuff like that, I believe. And then I think Azelf is more America. I think I'm right in saying that. But Uxie, let me just check if I've managed to get... Yeah, so I've got quite a few Uxies. I've got one shiny, which was now a shiny Lucky. And then we managed to get a few Uxies there. A few of them were wild spawns during the Sinnoh tour, which is quite nice, because obviously all 3 were appearing in the wild. So we've got some wild Uxies, as you can see from the stats. And then we had a shiny, which was one of the worst lucky trades I did. Of course, 12, 12, 12, the worst you can get from a lucky trade. This one was 12, 12, 14. So very much one of the worst you can get. And then we've got a 98 Uxie there and a 96 Uxie. So we haven't managed to get the Hundo Uxie, but I'm not too fussed about getting the Hundos. It's just mainly getting those shinies for me. I know a lot of people chase both the Hundo and the shiny, but I'm only really focused on getting the shinies. Hundos can wait. So is there any more raids? We've got, of course, that Stunky. That Mesprit's going to hatch in just a moment. That Mesprit down there hatches in 10 minutes. Now we need to do 2 raids. I may in fact go for that Stunky. Hey Evil Gaming, how are you? I think we'll go for that Stunky. See what challenges we need to do afterwards. Because of course Stunky is one of the shiny boosted Pokemon during this event. And it's an easy solo, of course, level 1. So anybody can solo a Stunky. But if we solo that and then see if we can get enough interest for a Mesprit right next to it, it makes sense to do these right next to each other, doesn't it? So we'll head up that way. We'll cancel that RSVP, what we put on, and we'll head up that direction. So let's just catch this Bagon and we'll go across to his RSVP. Not going. Yeah, so we'll cancel that. And instead, that Mesprit up there, if we can still see it on the nearby and on the RSVP. Let's go across to it. Are we still in range to do RSVP? We are. And we will say at 47 minutes past, because it's probably going to take us until then to get there. Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Evil Gaming. Thanks so much for joining. If you are new to the channel, by the way, please make sure to like the video. You can do that easily on mobile by double tapping the screen, or on computer, hit that little thumbs up button, and then also subscribe to the channel as well. So I'm hoping we can get this Dynamax Kubfu today on today's live stream. Although we did start the live stream a little bit late, we can hopefully still get that encounter just in time before we have to finish. We'll be shooting off around about 3 o'clock today. So got about another half an hour on the live stream before we shoot off. And then of course, like we mentioned before, it is very much a action-filled weekend yet again on Pokemon Go, with a very much Machop themed weekend. We've got Machop Classic Community Day tomorrow, 2 PM till 5 PM. And then we've got the Machamp Gigantamax Max Battle Day. So Gigantamax Machamp coming into the game for the first time. And if you've not already seen it, make sure to go check it out. I will be putting a video later about the Gigantamax Machamp, what best counters to use. And we'll also be looking into what Gigantamax Machamp looks like, and also what its shiny looks like as well. It does look absolutely amazing. Probably one of the best Gigantamaxes in my opinion. So we'll be doing that video later on. Make sure to keep an eye out on the channel for when I post that later. But as for now, let's see if we can get to some of these raids and take these on now. Nice little wild Applin there. I do like how these are still spawning in the wild after that event a couple of weeks ago. And we can still mimic as other Pokemon. You can sometimes click on an apple and it turns into a Poliwag or something. Thanks so much, Rev. Thanks for dropping in, mate. Hopefully speak to you very soon. So as we mentioned before, during this final strike event, there is currently 3 boosted Pokemon in the wild. Marini is shiny boosted. Not Mesprit, of course not Mesprit. Marini, Stunky, and Meditite. That was the other one I was thinking of. Meditite, Stunky, and Marini. Those 3 are shiny boosted during this event. They are normally 1 in 512, normally full odds, but for this event only, they are 1 in 128. So if you encounter any of those in research tasks, in raids, and or in the wild, then there'll be that increased shiny odds. So best chance to get one of those if you are hunting any of those 3 currently. Now, we will start heading up to this Mesprit and Stunky raid here, but in the meantime, we've got a rocket radar and we've just found Cliff. Now, Cliff is probably... I'll wait until that goes past. So Cliff is probably one of the best leaders to go against at this moment in time. And that was because due to the last rocket rotation, which was last week, Cliff got this little guy. As you can see, Shadow Gibble. So Shadow Gibble is probably one of the best shadows to try and get a decent one of in the game. Now, because Cliff has got it, because it's now become one of the leader Pokemon, you can now get it as a Shadow Shiny. Now, Shadow Shinies from Team Go Rocket Grunts are 1 in 256 odds, so half odds. From Shadow Rocket leaders, the shinies are 1 in 64. So we have a 1 in 64 chance that this Gibble here is going to be a shiny Shadow. So fingers crossed it will be. Now his second Pokemon is Annihilate, so we'll switch out into that Mewtwo, and that Mewtwo, knowing Psychic moves, will take this down pretty easily. And then we've got a Tyranitar in the back. So Tyranitar will probably destroy our Mewtwo, but we can hopefully get rid of Cliff's shields by hitting it with some attacks. And as you can see, his shields are now gone. So this Psy Strike will get through this time, but not doing much damage at all, as you can see. We'll let Cliff just virtually defeat us here. So this is the white Kyurem. It's probably the best out of the fusion of Kyurem. Obviously, white Kyurem being a fusion of Kyurem and Reshiram, black Kyurem being a fusion of Kyurem and Zekrom. Now, the white Kyurem is by far the best one out of the two. No shiny Gibble. And the Gibble CP we need to be looking for, if it is weather boosted, is around about 414. That's a weather boosted hundo. And this one was nowhere near that. It was 362. So not very good at all. In fact, a 0 star. So definitely something to be going into the shredder, or into the Pokemon Candy Shredder, as we send that to the Professor. There is actually, was that a grey gym just? No. It definitely looked grey. I don't know whether that was a glitch or whether it's just the sun hitting the screen. That gym definitely looked grey for a split second then. Cheers. A couple of Zigzagoons here, none of them are shiny. And we will take the shortcut route and get to this Stunky and Mesprit. Quite a few stops we can reach from here, in fact, just to get a few more Pokeballs in the storage ready for Machop Classic Community Day tomorrow. And I can't remember what time we set the RSVP up, so we'll check that out in just a second. But we may do the Stunky first, depending on what time we set up the RSVP. Let's just double check that. 8 minutes time. So we've got 8 minutes until our RSVP is up. And at the moment, it doesn't look like anybody has said they are going, anybody else on a friends list. So we may jump in it a little bit earlier, if at all possible. But first of all, let's do the Stunky. There's another glaring Zigzagoon there as well. No shiny on that one. And Tyrant spawning in the wild. We've seen a couple of those today so far. I don't think it's an event spawn, but perhaps just because it's weather boosted. Just turned windy weather. Now this may be a Tyrant nest down here. I know this does nest in this location. And if you don't know what I mean by nesting, then certain Pokemon do have a chance of spawning more frequently in a 2-week period. So if you are living close to a nest, and what I mean by a nest, somewhere that can nest is a local playground or greenland, effectively. So for instance, this is a football pitch, but they do happen on golf courses, football pitches, recreational grounds, stuff like that normally gets to be a nest. How do you have Mesprit raids? I only have Azelf. So Azelf, Mesprit and Uxie are regional Pokemon. You only get the one that's in your region. So you of course only get Azelf raids, and I only get Mesprit raids. That's because I'm in Europe. I think Europe is Mesprit. Uxie is the Asian Pacific, so like the likes of Japan and so on. And then Azelf, I think, is more the United States. There is a couple of Tyrants knocking about here, but of course, if you are from one of the other regions, you can get invites to this one. So for example, if you wanted a Mesprit raid, I can invite you. If you wanted, I will be doing it in just a moment. So if you did want a Mesprit invite, let me know, and you can add me just before and I can invite you to it, if I haven't already got you added. So we'll jump into the Stunky. In fact, we just over-clicked it and we've clicked onto another Tyrant. So now we'll jump into the Stunky. So do let me know if you want an invite to the Mesprit. We'll be doing it in a few moments' time. First of all, let's do this Stunky. Find a space to just sit down. Pretty much caught up with comments now, while we're just waiting for us to time down. Could you invite me to a Mesprit, please? Definitely, yeah. If you wish me to, if you want me to invite you, then I'll put my trainer code up. Have I already got you added in the game? I don't think so. Let me know what your in-game name is and I'll do a search for you in just a moment. If not, I will get you added. So there is the Stunky completed. Very, very easy solo to do, of course, only being level 1. 624 on the CP. I don't know what a good Stunky is from a raid, but it is shiny boosted. So is it going to be red? Hopefully. No, no shiny. 624. Let's see how good this one is. Broke out. Let's try again. That time a great throw. So let's get Chaos Ranger added. He's put his trainer code in the comments. So let's just put that in the game and get that added. So Gaming Graven. That is sent over, so hopefully you'll see that in just a moment. There we are, new friends. Now we do need to walk a little bit closer, annoyingly, so we're in range for the raid. And when I get into rage, I will send the invite out. So get ready, Chaos, and I will send this invite out in just a second. And what I will check though is these two research tasks that we've got. We've got a Samurott from the Win 2 Rage task. Now this of course is a Hisuian Samurott. It can be shiny, and again it is 1 in 64 odds. So if you're after a Hisuian Samurott shiny, it's a really, really good task to be going after on Pokestops. Win 2 raids for that. And it can also be another couple of Pokemon as well. This one being a Bombardier. So we have a Bombardier there. So let's jump into this Mesprit. And we will invite a few people, including Gaming Raver. There he is. So invite coming in. To apologise. So let's just do this raid, and then it looks like I may have to shoot off in just a moment from the live stream. People definitely need to try and get hold of me for some reason. So we'll do this raid, and then we'll see if we get our Dynamax Kubfu encounter from it. So I'm ready if everyone else is, and we won't mega evolve anything in the current team. We'll keep as that is. So Gaming Raven, if you are ready, then it looks like there's 3 of us. We should easily take this down with 3 of us. So ready up whenever you are ready. There we go. And 3 of us should take this down pretty easily. So we are in with our Tyranitar. Let's see how long this lasts for. Mesprit, of course, is weak against Dark type, hence why it's recommended Tyranitar and other Dark types. It should be a pretty easy takedown. Gaming Raven, as you can see from across the other side, by the looks of it, is using Tyranitar. Maybe the other person, I'm not too sure. Hey Emma, how are you? Thanks so much for joining. So we're just taking down this raid, and then hopefully we can see our Dynamax Kubfu encounter. And then we may be finishing the live stream after that. So the Necrozma Dawnwing's Necrozma is just absolutely insane. Really, really good counter. And then we've got another Tyranitar, as you can see. Can I get your code? I have 3 remotes. Yeah, I can get your code. Yo, nice haircut, bro. Cheers, Dark. I love it. I will definitely add you, but I may have to shoot off after this raid. We may get our Kubfu encounter, though, before we do go. So that's what the aim of today's live stream was, is to try and get our Kubfu encounter live on the stream. And hopefully we can do that before I have to shoot off before 3 o'clock. But yes, I will add you in just a moment. Once we've done this raid, I'll put my trainer code up on the screen. If you send me a friend request, I will add you, and then I will invite you to future Mesprits, if that is indeed the Pokemon you're after. So quite an easy trio, 88 seconds remaining. We've managed to trio that quite easily there. And it is not a very good one. Now, weather boosted, it is 2184, I believe, the hundo. And this one is 2097. So not very good Mesprit. And as you can see, it is weather boosted there. The non-weather boosted hundo, I believe, finishes in 47, 1747, something like that, is the non-weather boosted hundo. So not a very good Mesprit at all, but we should now have that win 3 raids task complete, and therefore we hopefully will be able to get our Dynamax Kubfu encounter. So let's see if we can get this Mesprit to stay in the ball. And it's definitely not playing ball at the moment. You need Mesprit. Okay, no worries. I will get you added in just a second, and then I will send you future Mesprit invites that I do. I will nickname you as Mesprit, and then if we are doing any Mesprit raids, I will send you an invite to that. That's no problem. So if you are new to the channel, before we leave today, make sure to hit that like button on the video, subscribe to the channel as well, and turn that notification bell on. We will hopefully be live again on Max Monday. We've got an action-packed weekend ahead of us, where, being that I'm a Pokemon Go community ambassador, I host the events in my community. So that means I don't go live during these events like the Community Day or, in fact, the Gigantamax Machamp. But I will do a video on both of those events afterwards on Saturday and Sunday evening to let you know how I've managed to get on with those events. And of course, we will be putting up a video tonight about the Gigantamax Machamp and what you are best to use against it as counters, so as a tank and also as an attacker. So make sure to keep an eye out for that video tonight. Now, Mesprit has been caught. We've quickly caught that. And let's just check out how good he was. And 2097 is not a very good one. 10, 10, 12. Now, 10, 10, 10, of course, being the lowest you can get from a raid. So let's head across to the friend code. And if you do want to add me, make sure to take a screenshot of this page, add me, as quick as you can, and I will accept you as quick as I can. And when I do any Mesprit raids, I will send you invites. So make sure to take a screenshot of that now and get that jotted down and add me as and when you can. So in terms of challenges and in terms of getting our Dynamax Kubfu, let's have a quick look and see what we've got. So our Fuzzy Fighter Research gives us a Tyrogue. So that is that challenge complete. And then we need to power up a water type 10 times, is it? Let's just see on this. So yes, power up a water type 10 times, and we've got power up a Pokemon 10 times there as well. Let's spin this stop and see what we get. Hey YT Sams, how are you? Thanks so much for joining. We will be shooting off in just a moment. I'm just going to power up a water type and see what we get from this challenge. And then we may be shooting off very soon. And if we don't get our Dynamax Kubfu encounter today on the live stream, then we will video it as and when I get it and put it up as a YouTube short. So don't worry about that. Cheers, YT Slams. Hopefully having a good day. And the video is starting to lag a little bit, the stream, should I say, or the game itself. Now we have got a Glaring Zigzagoon shiny off a research task, which is pretty decent. Nice little shiny from a power up 10 Pokemon. Shiny! Thank you for a raid. It ran. Oh, that was annoying. Sorry to hear that. And it's a 2-star shiny from a research task. So not a bad shiny, but still we've had better, I believe. And let's just see what else we've got in terms of encounters here. We've got another Zigzagoon to 11. We'll catch that later. And let's see what else we've got. Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks. I'm doing good. So, research tasks, what have we got left to do for this Dynamax Kubfu encounter? Let's just click on this and go to the next page. 4 out of 5 for the Fuzzy Fighter. And we've got to defeat some Team Go Rocket members, as well as catch 15 different species of Pokemon. How much longer will you be going live? I'll literally be going off in just a moment. It's just the game's been a bit slow, so we are just having to take a time for this. And let's see what we get from this research here. So this is off the events page, and this is a Marini. So maybe this one has the background. Let's just see if it has. And it should have the background. Let's just check this. And it has. So 401 with a background is not a very good one. 12, 13, 14. But still, it's a background Marini and another background Pokemon that we've got this evening with the background Charcadet. So, unfortunately, we didn't get our Dynamax Kubfu encounter on today's live stream. I do have to shoot off now, unfortunately. But I will video it when we get past this stage and when we get our Dynamax Kubfu encounter, and that will be put up as a YouTube short video so you can see how good that one is. So let me just show you how good the Dynamax Kubfu that I had before went when we lucky traded it on Wednesday at the raid hour. So we did this during the Mesprit raid hour. It went better than what it was. It was originally a 10, 11, 11, and now it's gone to a 12, 13, 14. So definitely better than what it was, but still we need to try and get a better one if we are going to evolve one of these. Now, whether you evolve one or not is completely up to you. Just bear in mind that Urshifu does have a Gigantamax form that will be released in the game. Now, I don't expect it to be anytime soon, but Gigantamax Urshifu will be released at some stage. So that will definitely be better than Dynamax. So definitely make that choice with that in mind, whether you are going to evolve one or not. Do you have a Lilligant? I do have a Lilligant, yeah. Lilligant is quite a nice Pokemon. And I do have a couple of Lilligants. Now, if you are, well, I do have a Hundo Lilligant, in fact. Very, very nice Pokemon. And if you are new to the channel, last time, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also turn that notification bell on. Thanks very much for everybody who's tuned into the live stream today. I do have to shoot off now, unfortunately. So make sure to stick around on the channel, check out the other videos, and check out that video that's coming later tonight about the Gigantamax Machamp Max Battle Day on Sunday. We'll be running through the encounters as well as what the shiny Gigantamax Machamp looks like. It does look epic. So make sure to tune in for that later tonight. Thanks very much for watching. Like and subscribe,